Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So this morning I was watching a video where a brother was talking about how he stands with Umar Johnson. And as I watched that video and as I reflect on other videos that I've seen, it has become abundantly clear to me that there are some people that are so gullible. All you have to do is speak with a certain type of rhetoric. All you have to do is talk about black nationalism and present yourself as if you are pro-black. And you will have people that will blindly follow you and blindly defend you. They will defend you if you steal money from the people. They will come up with all kinds of excuses and rationalizations for it. And they will invent conspiracies of a government conspiring against you without presenting a shred of evidence. They will present all these arguments about how people are conspiring against you without presenting any kind of evidence at all. And they will defend you. You have cases where people have actually molested children. And because these people, these criminals, use the rhetoric of black nationalism, because they present themselves as pro-black, you have people defending them to this day. A prime example of that would be Dr. York, a man who has been convicted of molesting children. And you have people still talking about how they follow this man, how they learn so much from this man's teachings. But this is what happens in the black community. And I did a video about people following charlatans, hustlers, and con artists. But you have people that make excuses for these people. They say, well, they're going after this man because he wants to set up a school for black boys. They're going after this man because he spoke about interracial relationships. They're going after this man because he's a strong alpha black male. Excuses. But again, as I said in the prior video, none of these people are addressing the core issue at hand. And the thing is this, man, the funny thing is this, I mean, how can you talk about standing with somebody when you don't even really fully understand what the allegations are? I mean, you have people saying, well, they're trying to take his license away, when that's not even what's happening. The Board of Psychology in Pennsylvania accuses this man of not having a license. So nobody is trying to take his license away. They're saying that this man is presenting himself to the public as if he has a license when he doesn't, in fact, have one. And again, this is the notice to him. This is the order to show cause. And it points out how he never held an authorization to practice a profession or occupation issued by the State Board of Psychology. So this is not about somebody taking his license. Again, it says, respondent did not hold a license to practice as a psychologist in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But yet this man is holding himself out to be a psychologist without having a license. This man is talking about how he's certified this and certified that. That's the issue. Nobody's trying to take his license away. I mean, if you're going to stand with somebody, you need to at least understand what you're standing for. So that's one thing, man. They're saying he doesn't hold this license, but yet he is presenting himself as if he has, in fact, a license to practice psychology in Pennsylvania. So that's the issue, man. I mean, all this rhetoric about what he's done for the black community, which is very little other than talk about building the school, other than giving all these lectures around the nation. He's not building any kind of organization. He's not organizing any kind of protest or demonstration or anything. All he's talked about was building a school. And this man has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for years now. And there is no school in sight. No school at all in sight. I mean, you have independent schools, as I've mentioned in prior videos, such as Ujama Shule in Washington, D.C., an independent African-centered school that's been going on, they've been operating for 47 years. They didn't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to set up that school. If this man really wanted to set up a school, he could have done so a long time ago with the funds he has already raised. Now, there's another point that was raised in the video that I saw. They were talking about entertainers. But before I get into that, one thing that this person mentioned, they said, well, if you gave him $20 and, assuming that he's didn't use the money appropriately, you're only losing $20. So what are you complaining about? I mean, the fact of the matter is $20 here, $20 there, it adds up. And here we have a situation where this man has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And those hundreds of thousands of dollars, if they are not in fact being used for the stated purpose, then that amounts to nothing but thievery. That's nothing but thievery, man. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen from the black community. If you think that that is acceptable, if you think that that is something that should be defended, there's something wrong with you. There's something seriously wrong with our people when we defend that stuff. And right now, we don't know if the money's been misappropriated. All we know is this man has been raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for a school that has not been built. And that's problematic. That's deeply problematic. And we also know this. Someone sent me a tweet, and I'm going to go to my Twitter page real quick. They sent me a notification, and I'm going to go to that notification indicating that Umar Johnson's GoFundMe page has been removed. So if you can bear with me a second, I'll go to that. Yeah, so it's right here. This is Umar Johnson's. This was the link to Umar Johnson's GoFundMe page. But when you click on the link, it says campaign not found. We're sorry, but the campaign link you entered cannot be found. So that means that his page has been taken down. And that raises questions. I mean, this man received a notice from GoFundMe saying that we need you to answer some questions. We need to ensure that your use of our website is in compliance with our policies. They were basically trying to make sure that the funds were being used for the stated purpose. And here we are today, and that campaign cannot be found on GoFundMe. If you search his name, you won't find it anywhere in here. Umar Johnson. You'll see some other pages like this page encouraging people to investigate him. But I don't see anything on here for his school. And if that doesn't trouble you, you have to ask yourself, why not? I mean, this is a man who spent all this time and all this social capital talking about setting up a school. So that's a serious matter. And, I know that people are going to eventually, and they have done this before, they've asked about the school and they've asked about where the funds have gone. But the question is coming to a head now that this GoFundMe page is taken down. That's serious. That can't be brushed aside. Can't brush it aside by saying it's only $20 here. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen from the black community. If that's the case, if these funds are not in fact used for that purpose. And the fact that this GoFundMe page has been taken down and he has not presented evidence to counter the assertions by GoFundMe, that speaks volumes. That should raise serious concerns from anyone. And I want to go to something that I was listening to this brother, Young Pharaoh, say, and I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but he raised a great point in his recent video about Umar Johnson. And that point was this. He said, basically, show this stuff to the public. Like, if you have a license, show it to the public. And then that would end all discussion about this issue of his license. The fact of the matter is, I doubt that he has the license. In fact, it's clear that he doesn't have a license because the state board would not set up an order to show cause and a hearing and all that kind of stuff if this man in fact did have a license. And we know that this man has presented himself in various ways of having a license just by calling someone a psychologist. They're presenting the and implying that they in fact have a license. By using the term certified and all that kind of stuff, they are suggesting that they in fact have a license. That's like somebody who has not passed the bar, who's not been admitted to practice law, putting themselves out to the public as if they are an attorney when they are not, in fact, licensed to practice law in that particular jurisdiction. And to do this kind of stuff, if this is in fact true, and we'll find out after the hearing if all this stuff is true, but if this is true, this is nothing but charlatan behavior. Presenting oneself as if you have certain qualifications that you do not, in fact, have. And also, I want to deal with this question. Like they talk, like in this particular video that I'm referencing, this YouTuber was talking about like how people don't question these entertainers and all that kind of stuff about what they do, about them donating to the black community and blah blah blah. I mean, and you hear this a lot. You hear these people deflecting. You know, this person was talking about we don't ask these corporations what they do with the money that they receive from the public and this and that. And those may be legitimate questions to raise, but that has nothing to do with the fundamental issue at hand, and that's Umar Johnson, what he did with this money, you know, what he plans to do with this money, whether or not he has a license, did he present himself as having a license? Those are the issues. But none of these defenders are adequately addressing these issues, as I pointed out before. And when you speak about entertainers, you have to note that there are entertainers who have, in fact, created schools in the black community, like LeBron James, creating the I Promise School. Or if you go to Jalen Rose, creating the Leadership Academy. Or even if you go to P. Diddy, creating a charter school in East Harlem. So you have examples of entertainers that are doing things that this guy, Umar Johnson, is only talking about. Again, you know, the bottom line is this, you know, he could have opened a school a long time ago with the money he raised. And, you know, it may not have been like a private boarding school or something like that, but he could have created an independent school with the money he's raised. And I think these are serious questions, man. And it's not about people trying to tear this man down simply because he wants to do X, Y, and Z for the black community. The bottom line is he either has the license or he doesn't have the license. And if he wanted to end all this stuff, all he had to do was present that license for the public to see. And there would be no hearing if this man had a license. His GoFundMe page would not have been removed if there were no issues dealing with the use of those particular funds. In conclusion, I don't stand with people who pretend to have licenses that they do not in fact possess. I don't stand with those who raise hundreds of thousands of dollars without producing the results that was expected after years of raising funds. I don't stand with those who have their GoFundMe pages shut down for non-compliance with GoFundMe's policies. I don't stand with those who are liars. I don't stand with those who criticize everyone but refuse to accept constructive criticism. I don't stand with those who profess to be pro-black while at the same time making disrespectful comments about their fellow brothers and sisters based on the complexion of their skin. I don't stand with con artists, hustlers, and charlatans. I stand with those who are honest. I stand with those who are transparent. I stand with those who make their word their bond. I stand with those who actually follow through on their promises. I stand with those who walk the walk and talk as they talk the talk. Those who are people of action instead of people of words. I stand with those who are organizers and those who are actual protesters. So with that, I'll say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Please tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.